Hi, friends. This is day 5 of Radical Surrender, and today is going to be simple, I think. It was a very clear message, and it felt like it followed on from yesterday. And the question that came up was, what do you do when reality is so different from your expectations? What do you do? How do we handle that? How do we get past the reality being different? And I'm going to talk more about expectations and maybe some of the things that might come up in other videos that are going to come up. But today, what came up had to do with the word prayer. And it kind of stemmed from a conversation that I had with one of my closest friends. And I want to thank her because when I got this message, I knew these two events, that message that I got and that conversation, were connected. If you grew up or are still in a situation where your faith is very religiously based, then prayer may have a certain connotation of words that are laid out, right? A while back, I did the rosary, and the rosary, and I have mine right here in my pocket. The rosary is a series of prayers. And those prayers, those words that are laid out in a sequence for a rosary. Prayer that has words is definitely prayer. And that kind of prayer is really helpful when you need to connect to the divine and you don't have those words. And then there is prayer that is prompted by questions. You might think to yourself, what is faith, God? What is faith? And the prayer is your talking to the divine about that, about a specific question. Or listening to that two-way street, right? The give and take. Listening for guidance about that. It may mean that you pull a card about what that is, and then you meditate on it, you think about it. That's less religiously based prayer. But prayer is also so much just that conversation that you might have throughout that whole day with the divine. Or setting aside specific time to just talk to the divine. Do a daily examination of what brought you joy, what challenged you, and talk to the divine about that. That's prayer. It's all prayer. And I remember once being really captivated by the phrase, pray without ceasing. Pray until you yourself become a living prayer. And I knew that I myself wanted to be a living prayer. I forgot that. Prayer is not hard, and it's not always talking. And when I was doing the video yesterday about suffering, and the other day about what would the divine know about you if it was only what they learned from you in prayer? How much are you really talking about you? You have really healed a lot. You know yourself a lot better. We may tend to think that God is omnipotent and He knows everything, but He needs to hear from you about it. So the point is that it's all prayer. And we can very easily be praying way more than what we think we are. But prayer is also giving ourselves the time to listen. And I will say that I try to pray for several hours every day. And I do try this pray without ceasing. But there's a lot of time that is just silent, where I'm listening and I'm not hearing anything. And that's okay. That's okay. So I have a card I'm going to pull from my Akashic Light Symbol Oracles. What do we need to know today about, as we started the question, we got into the prayer, but the radical surrender here is giving yourself that prayer. But the question is, what do you do when reality is so different from your expectations? What do we need to know today? What do we need to know, Spirit? What do we need to know? Caution. I feel this is twofold. One piece of this is the caution that we feel when reality is so different from our expectations. Danger, danger. But it's also giving me this message of caution about judging ourselves, about not praying correctly. It's all correct. Any connection with the divine. Sending you so much love and light. Bye for now.